All right, here is the homework for January 11th. We are substituting. So this first problem right here, this first one says y equals 6x minus 11. That tells us right there that is what y is. So we can take this information, plug it in for that y. Okay, and then we'll be able to replace the y and solve for x. So let's do that. Negative 2x stays the same. Minus 3, and then that. Okay, minus 3, and when you're replacing an expression, use parentheses. So here is what our new equation looks like. That is simply negative 3y. Because that is what y equals, that is negative 3y. That whole thing represents y. All right, so we can distribute. And you'll get negative 18x plus 33. Alrighty. Let's do some combining here. Okay, that's going to give us a negative 20x plus 33 equals negative 7. Move the 33 over. You'll have negative 20x equals negative 40. Divide everything by negative 20. And you will discover that x equals 2. If we take that information and we plug it back into one of these equations, we will find y. This top equation looks a bit easier to do that. So I'm going to take 2 and I'm going to replace x for 2. So it'll read y equals, instead of 6 times x, it'll be 6 times 2. That'll be 12 minus 11, which y will then equal 1. And we will still answer it out as an ordered pair, so our answer is 2, 1. Okay, number 2. It tells us right here, here's what y equals. Many of you did this problem in class. Okay, so this is y. So we can take this, plug it in right there, and it'll help us solve for x. So let's do that. 2x minus 3 times y, so 3 times all of that, equals negative 1. All right, so we distribute, combine, move the 3, get rid of that negative 1 by dividing. X equals 4. We can take that 4, plug it in to, actually it might be easier to plug into the second one. So plug in right there. So y equals, instead of x minus 1, instead of x minus 1, x is 4, so 4 minus 1. And that will make us discover x is 3. Write it as an ordered pair. That is our solution. Okay, number 3. It is telling us right here, that is what y is. So we take all of this and plug it in right there for that y. We will find x. So 5x minus 4 times y, which is all of this. Oops. Oh, no, I'm right, sorry. All right, let's distribute. We can combine. Move the 20 over. divide the 17, and we will discover that x equals 1. We can take that information, plug it back in for right there, and we will find y. So y equals negative 3x. Instead of x, we're going to put negative 3 times 1 plus 5. That'll be negative 3 plus 5, which is 2. Answer is an ordered pair. There you go. Same thing over here. We already know what y is. It has told us this is y. Y equals this. So we take all of that, plug it in for y, minus 3 times all of that. Okay, distribute. Ooh, what's 3 times 17? That would be 51. This can be combined. It'll be 12x plus 51. Subtract that 51 to move it over. You'll get 12x equals negative 48. Divide by 12. X equals negative 4. Take that negative 4, plug it back into one of the equations. Now, it does not matter which one you plug it into. You can plug x for this one or this one. I just think this one looks a little easier, so I'm going to choose the second one. So instead of y equals negative 5x, I'm going to write y equals negative 5 times negative 4. That will be negative 20, actually be positive 20 because negative times negative, minus 17. Well, that's 3. And we write it as an ordered pair. All right. Number 5. Wow, this one's super easy. Look, it says y is negative 2. Cool, so we just do 4x minus 3y, but y is negative 2. That makes that a positive 6. Negative 3 times negative 2 is positive 6. Get that 6 over there. Divide by 4. X will equal 3. Take that, put it into the second equation. There's no x in this first equation, so we can't put it in. Actually, hold on. Mrs. Frost's brain just had a little skip a beat. We already know y. I don't even have to solve for y. It's right there. I'm doing more work than I need to do, and I don't need to do that. So x is 3, and it tells us y is negative 2. So I don't even have to plug in. I know it. All right. Right here it tells us this is y. Here it is. So we take this whole thing, plug it in right there. Okay? So negative 3x minus 2 times all of that equals negative 12. Distribute. Okay, let me turn the lights back on. Sorry guys, probably just scared you so much. My phone fell. Apologies. Okay, combine these. So it's a negative 13x. Move that 14 over. You'll get negative 13x equals negative 26. Divide by negative 13. X equals 2. Take that x, plug it into the easiest equation you see, solve for y. So I'm plugging it into this top one. So instead of 5x, I'm doing 5 times 2. Okay? 5 times 2 is 10, and 10 minus 7 is 3. So the answer is 2, 3. All right, number 7. This is a little bit difficult. There is one step we need to do before we can substitute. We don't have something that says y equals or x equals, so we have to make it. Okay, I'm going to look for a positive variable that has no coefficient. So this y is already kind of by himself, but this negative 4x needs to go over there. If it can get over there, then we'll have y equals something. So we just add 4x to both sides, and now we have y equals 6 plus 4x. So we can take that, put it in right there, and we'll find x. So it'll look like this. Minus 6 plus 4x equals 21. Okay, so it's negative 5x minus y. And y is that. So I put it in. Okay, distribute that negative. I can combine. Move the 6 over by adding 6. You'll get negative 9x equals 27. Divide by negative 9. X equals negative 3. Now take that information, plug it in, and you'll find y. So y equals 6 plus, instead of 4 times x, we're going to do 4 times negative 3. Y equals 6 minus 12, because 4 times negative 3 is negative 12. Your answer is negative 6. So the whole thing is negative 3, negative 6. Number 8, we need to find a situation where we have a variable all alone. Look at this x. Okay, all we could do is just move that negative 2y over, and then it'll say x equals something. So plus 2y plus 2y. That gives us x equals 11 plus 2y. Now we can plug that in there. We'll get negative 7 times whatever x was. Oops. Distribute. Oops. Combine. Add 77. And that's basically 77 minus 13, which is 64. Divide negative 16. Y equals negative 4. Take that, plug it into the easiest equation, and you'll get x. I'm going to do this on another piece of paper. So we know that y is negative 4. So here we go. X equals, I'm plugging it into this equation. Y is negative 4, so I'm going to plug it in right there. Okay, do your 2 times negative 4, you'll get negative 8, and 11 minus 8 is 3. So your answer is 3, negative 4. I'm going to do 9 and 10 on a separate piece of paper because I'm running out of room here. So number 9. Says negative 5x plus y equals negative 2, and negative 3x plus 6y equals negative 12. I need a situation where I can get a variable alone. This y is positive and all by himself. He just has this neighbor that if we can move him over there, we can find a variable alone. So let's move that 5x. So then it is y equals -2 plus 5x. So we can take this and replace y. So we have -3x plus 6y, which is all that, equals -12. Distribute. Combine. Move the -12. Divide. X equals 0. That's okay. Put this information back into another equation to find y. So here we go. Wherever you see an x, we're going to put a 0. -2 plus 5 times 0 instead of 5 times x. So right there. Well, that ends up just being 0, so y equals -2. So our whole answer is 0, -2. So that was 0, -2. All right, this last one I'm going to try to fit on here since I've saved some space. I want to get this y all by himself. He has a positive and no coefficient, so let's move that 5x over. You'll end up with y equals -3 plus 5x. Take that, plug it in for that y. Okay, distribute. Combine. Move the 24. Okay, something times anything equals 0, that x is going to be 0. So x equals 0. So put that information back into here and we'll find y. So y equals -3 plus 5 times 0. Well, 5 times 0 is 0. So y equals -3, which means the whole thing is 0, -3. All right, and there's the homework for Tuesday, January 11th.